The Muslim ban was still on Donald Trump's campaign website as of last week.
Right. It was taken down just before the appeals court argument, and frankly, I'm not sure how much credibility or stock these judges put in the website. But in both this argument and the one last week, just a week ago, the statements made by the candidate, Donald Trump, very much were weighed against the statements he's made by the president. And the same question was asked in both of these hearings. Has he ever taken it back? Has he ever disavowed them? Has he ever said he's sorry? And another question that was asked in both these hearings was, well, okay, you say that his executive order is infected by the campaign statements. How long does that infirmity extend? Can the president never take any executive action because he's already doomed by his campaign statements? And the answer was, well, he hasn't even done anything to take it back yet. I think we have to step back here for just a second, Katie, and say what a remarkable thing this is. We don't often see televised coverage of oral argument in the courts of appeals. The Ninth Circuit has slightly different rules, so we got to see on television what generally we don't get to see. So I think that's an interesting point that I just want to make while we're all here. I think you had some pretty balanced questions asked of each side, but at the end of the day, it's the real question here is what the president did a Muslim ban? Does that violate the Constitution's prohibition on discriminating on the basis of religion? And even if the judges don't reach that question, the other question is, does the executive order violate the law that says you can't ban people from an entire nationality of people? So those are the two questions. It's national security versus did the president discriminate? We're going to get rulings from these two courts here shortly. The Fourth Circuit is ahead of this one by a week, and by the fact that it's already gone to the full court in the Fourth Circuit, whereas this was, as you can plainly see, just a three-judge panel. So whatever this three-judge panel does, you can still appeal to the entire Ninth Circuit. And then it would appear it's whoever doesn't win can take this case to the Supreme Court. But what does that all mean? It means that the administration probably can't enforce this executive order unless both these appeal court agree with the administration and agree to lift these stays. And it does seem from the oral argument that that's not a very likely thing to happen, that one of these courts or the other is going to extend the stay.
Pete, bear with me for a moment, but I read an interesting nugget in an LA Times article today about one of the arguments that was being made on behalf of the state of Hawaii. And it said, by focusing on nationality, Trump's order would bar a Syrian national who had lived in Switzerland for decades, but not a Swiss national who had immigrated to Syria during the Civil War. That's what the challengers are arguing.
And in fact, Neil Katyal, who is representing Hawaii in this case, made that very point today. He said that's the problem with it, because the question he was asked was, well, suppose there was a civil war going on in one of these countries, or suppose people had come back from the battlefield in these countries. And what Neil Katyal said is that's the problem with the president's order. It refers to nationality, not explicitly the conditions in these countries. Now, the administration's answer is no, it does refer to the conditions in these countries. They're hopelessly unable to give us very good background information on vetting people, and that's why we want this pause to see what we need to do to get better information.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.